Hello, my name is Marinopoulou Panagiota. I am a PhD candidate at the University of Alacant, and this is my presentation of my research proposal in the first year. Before we begin, I would prefer to present you a few words about me as a candidate. First of all, I was born in 1989 in Katerini, a small city next to Thessaloniki in North Greece. In 2015, I graduated of the Physics Department of the Faculty of Sciences of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki in Greece. In 2017, I had the opportunity to take my first master in education sciences, especially in special education at the University of Nicosia in Cyprus, where my second master took place also, but this time in teaching of mathematics and physical sciences in 2021. A few words about me as a candidate. Also, I would like to mention that after my graduation, my work experience concerns exclusively the teaching of sciences courses, physics, maths, biology, chemistry, etc., to students with special needs in public schools in secondary education in Greece. I also take care of their support and their inclusion in the school. Especially in the last year, season 2020 to 2021, my work concerns the support of teaching sciences courses to students with vision problems, visually impaired people, blind people. Also, I have attended many educational seminars on special education and the modern teaching methods. So, after my presentation as a PhD candidate, I would like to present you the purpose of the research. The object of the research concerns the role of differentiated education for visually impaired students in the modern inclusive school. But what is differentiated instruction or education? Differentiated instruction may have many explanations, may mean teaching the same material to all students using a variety of instructional strategies, or it may require the teacher to deliver lessons at varying level of difficulty based on the ability of each student. Each student learns on his own way. And how can we differentiate a visually impaired student? To answer this question, first of all, it's very important for our research to investigate the present situation in educational process in secondary education. We have to check to search what is going on inside the classroom. To succeed this, we will focus in two different objects: students and teachers. As far as students concerned, it's necessary for us to investigate first the quality of education they get in the present school. We will observe and notify the way they get the access to the knowledge inside the classroom. Is it effective? How do students respond? After, we will try to find if they have access to textbooks and instructional materials designed especially for visually impaired students. For example, Braille, audio or e-text. What about the technology and special equipment used by students? Is it available for use in present school? These are some questions that we have as far as students. As far as teachers concerned, first of all, it's necessary for us to investigate the bond between students and teachers. For example, are they close to students? Do they know their problems? Do they know their feelings? Secondly, it's important to check the awareness of teacher in this kind of education in modern school. Are they properly educated? Do they know how to use Braille? For example, furthermore, we will try to find the strategies that are used in order to teach them in general. Some other questions that may appear in order to complete our research are the necessary methodology research we're gonna use. What is the necessary methodology research? The necessary methodology research is a mixed survey which include quantitative and qualitative. We will mention the tools we're gonna use later, and the sample we're gonna use and examine is public schools in secondary education. So, it's time to answer the question, what are the necessary educational tools for data collection? As it's mentioned before, we focus on the observation of the educational process in secondary education today. So, we will use notebooks, daily, weekly, monthly, in order to observe the classroom. Then interviews to teachers and properly designated questionnaires, and of course it's necessary to mention that the list of the educational tools we will use in the research will be modified in the future depending on the development of the research. So, how can we differentiate a visually impaired student? To answer this question, we will try to find methods and ways that can be effective in the way that visually impaired students learn. It's very important to mention that each student learns on his own way, and this is very important for us as teachers and for the educational system in general, in order to provide them, students visually impaired, the best quality of knowledge that can get. So, some strategies for differentiated instruction in project-based learning is differentiate through teams, reflections and goal setting, mini lessons, centers and resources, voice and choice in products, differentiate through formative assessments, balance teamwork and individual work. But after the strategies, how can we differentiate a visually impaired student? What are the methods specifically for them? More strategies would be if we could get notes presented during a lesson in the way that visually impaired students can get. For example, electronic copy of notes, share notes recorded by a peer. Also, helpful would be for teachers to plan in advance the material and resources in daily lessons. Furthermore, it would be helpful to ensure availability in the students' appropriate alternate format at the same time as their sighted peers in order not to feel alone. And it's very important for students not to feel alone in the class. Also, we could use as teachers other tools helpful for visually impaired people in order to access the knowledge, for example, large print or braille or bullet board, etc. Of course, the contact between the parents and teachers is very important and we don't forget it. We need the cooperation between them. Of course, we could offer them additional time for tests and homework in order not to feel stress. And finally, we could use other evaluation methods more familiar to visually impaired students, such as oral rather than written tests. As far as my research schedule, I would like to mention that my bibliographic review and the compilation of a questionnaire may take place by the September of 2021. Then my research, the conduction of my research will be season 2021 to 2022, especially October to June. Then, after my research, my results will be recording between July of 2022 to December 2022, and then I will try to write my research and after all to submit my proposals by the June of the year 2023. Anything else that may be needed will be for me by the end of 2023. So, thank you for your time.